Hi everyone, this is Dollar. Welcome back. Today we're doing something a little bit different. This is a new product for VR. It's called a Yaw VR. I actually bought it on Kickstarter about 2 years ago and didn't even know if I'd get it. So it just came in, so I thought I'd do a video on just assembling it and showing you what it does. So what is the Yaw VR? Well, it's a motion simulator for virtual reality or VR headsets such as Oculus or the Valve HTC systems. Gives you 3 degrees of freedom where it rotates sideways, forward, and back to simulate G-forces when you're in VR. Now I get motion sick in a normal car, so I get very motion sick in VR when I'm using any type of driving simulator, so I'm hoping this will help. Anyway, let's go ahead and put it together. So we're going to start by disassembling the footrest. Has a little knob down here. You always pull that off. Actually a long bolt on here, so it comes apart. Here's the leg rest, and this will go on here. So we're going to squeeze the footrest in there. There's some foam padding in here. You can see it there. So it's a snug fit. It goes in there like so. And then we put the other piece back on there and screw this back into the nut on the other side. So right inside here is a little hexagon shaped hole similar to that that's back here with a nut in it. So this will screw into that nut and it tightens up so it's adjustable along this shaft here. And now the footrest goes opposite the hanger that attaches to the seat. So on the footrest there's a knob here. We want to remove that knob. So on the bowl itself there's a footrest mount here. It has 2 slots and I guess it's a slot here, a rounder slot here, and it has 2 recesses here. So these hooks will go into the recesses there, and then the knob that we just took off goes into the oval slot below and just screws in there. Okay, so you go ahead and tighten that up all the way and just holds it in there snug. Just a quick note, the Yaw VR does not come with an owner's manual. That's paper. It's actually online. So it has step-by-step directions on how to put it together here. So the next step is plugging it in. It has a key that comes with it that goes right in here to turn on the motors. But for now we're just going to plug it in per the instructions. Turn it on. You can see since I bought this a long time ago, I originally purchased the one with the moon pattern for the dome, but it didn't come with it, so they let me put my logo on it. So that's pretty cool. Now that it's on, it said to turn on the position tracker, which is right on the footrest stem here. And this should turn to a solid green. The instructions say if it's flashing green, it needs to be charged. There's a little charging port here for a micro USB. So I'll go ahead and plug that in and get it charging. So I charged it up, found a mini USB and charged it up, and it's staying solid green now, the little logo here. So go ahead and download the Yaw VR app, and then you'll open it up, and it'll scan for the VR Yaw simulator. It comes in on the Bluetooth. So once you do that, you will be prompted to enter your internet or network ID, your Wi-Fi ID name, as well as your Wi-Fi password. Then it'll connect. Once it's connected, you'll get this screen. And you want to position the Yaw VR in a horizontal position with the footrest at the front of the station, at the front of the base. You want to make sure it's level like this, and then hit and press the C for 5 seconds to calibrate it. So the next thing you want to do is calibrate it. So what you can do is push and hold the C right to the right of the start button for 5 seconds. And if you notice, the chair flipped to match the position. Basically, it's telling you the set position that you have it in is in the flat horizontal position. So you want to make sure your chair, your yaw, is in the flat horizontal rested position. Okay, we're in test mode now. It's just kind of going through a series of motions. So it'll do this for a little bit, and you can actually control it from the app here and tell it when to stop. So we're not going to do the whole thing right now, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what it does in test mode. So I'm going to go ahead and hit stop. Next, we're going to put the center holder on. This is what holds the steering wheel pad or game controller pad while you're in there. So the first thing that we're going to do is 2 of these bushings came with and it's wrapped up with the cord, so they're going to be pushed into each side of this. And then we're going to pull out these knobs and stick them through here to get that aligned. Okay, so this will go onto those bushings that we just put in and slide this back through. Again, we'll have to screw it in as we screwed it out. Align it with the hole. So we went ahead and tightened up these knobs on both sides. And that can tighten up so this thing can move. Get some control out of that. So once you get this on, there's a pull back here. You just release that. This little piece of the rod goes into here and it rests in there. So when the plate goes on here, you can adjust it either up and down or lower. And then you just secure this. I'll show you that in a second. Here's the locking element. You loosen it up and the pad moves. You go ahead and secure it, and now it's snug. 2 of these plates come with the yaw, and you can see, if you look at the pattern there, you can either mount them up here or down here. There's a lot of flexibility on where these can go and how they can be mounted. They can also, if you remove the handles, I believe, can go onto the sides here and over there. So you can put like a throttle for a jet fighter. But we're going to go ahead and mount this up here for a steering wheel. So we're going to go ahead and mount this here. Where it was. And it comes, these come as a little package of the screws with a bit that's included, a little hexagon bit in here. So here's a Logitech steering wheel to give you an example how it can go on there, and then by loosening or tightening this it can adjust accordingly. So this is the backrest and it'll go in those slots. I'm just going to stick it in here for now to see where the headrest goes. I'm going to put it in about there. So the second from the top. This is the lowest setting, so I'm going to go up a little bit higher. The screws come they're put in there already, so you have to pull them out, and we'll just go ahead and screw them back in. So 4 of these screws will go in and hold it in, 2 on each side. I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera. But that'll bring it a little bit lower than where I need it, but for the kids and my wife, it's probably more perfect for them. Once we have the headrest on, we'll go ahead and secure the backrest to here with provided screws. Once this is secure, you can readjust the headrest. There's also holes here, so you can tilt it back a little bit if it's too far forward. So that's it for setup. I did adjust the back. So it used to be on the outside screw. I moved it in one, so it leans a little bit further back on the headrest, doesn't push my head forward. But that's it for setup. I probably will reconfigure the plates from here, put a joystick pad over here. Gotta look into wireless steering wheels if there's anything out there like that, or just using the Oculus controls for steering or for flying. So we'll give that a shot. And so now I need to configure the software. I got to figure that out. I heard that's a little complicated, so I will continue with that. As you can see, I've configured a Logitech steering wheel to the steering plate. I got a joystick set up there. One of the programs that I was going to try to get working is American Truck Simulator. As right now, I don't have any of the racing games that are compatible with either the Yaw VR game engine or the SimTools program plugins. So I'm going to go through the process of setting that up. Just briefly, it was very difficult because there was not a lot of information available, even online. It's a pretty brand new product, so there's not a lot of support for it. There is a couple forums that we can use to get some information, but mostly I figured it out trial and error and just studying the SimTools manual. And am going to use SimTools to set this up because the American Truck Simulator is not available on the Yaw game engine yet. Hopefully in the future they will add that. But for now, let me go through the process of setting, configuring the system so it works. There's a lot of steps to go through, so I'll just go through them pretty quickly just to show you how it's done for this particular game. Note that it's going to probably be very different for other games. So this isn't a plug-and-play type system. You definitely have to do some research for your programs and the games that you want to use and what plugins are available and how to configure them. So let's get started with that. First thing you have to do is go to simtools.us and download their game engine. You will have to purchase a license for it, as this is not a do-it-yourself project. It is a commercial purchase project. And the license costs about $50, so a little bit steep just for a interface. After you download SimTools, you'll need to get the game plugin you want, and here you have to go to XSimulator to get the plugins. And again, you have to join to get the plugins, or you can purchase a 1 or 2 year plan to download as many plugins that they have available in that time period. Or if you become part of the forum, you can actually earn coins for responding to comments and asking questions, and you can get free plugins that way by collecting enough points or coins for that. As you can see, I went to American Truck Simulator and downloaded that. I did purchase 1 year subscription, but I did earn some points by browsing around the forum and joining and posting questions. And I was able to download the American Truck Simulator. It would have cost me 10 coins, and I earned 15. So I could have got that free if I wanted to, but I wanted to leave it open so I can download other stuff in the future as well. After you install SimTools, open up the plugin updater, and then you just drag and drop the zip file that you purchased or downloaded for the plugins, drop it onto this little wrench, and it'll install. The next thing you're going to do is open up the SimTools game engine, and you're going to set the game to the plugin that you just purchased. In this case, it's going to be American Truck Simulator, but you're going to set the parameters here for your yaw, pitch, and roll. And I just set mine by default to 50%. I did tweak them later and brought them a little bit down because it was a little high. But this is where you would set up those settings. And one of the things that was unclear to me was, how do I make the connection from the yaw to the computer? And after a lot of searching, I realized it was actually on the Yaw VR site. I didn't scroll down far enough in the online owner's manual where they have these settings for the network. So you want to set the interface type to network. You can set your settings to what you see on the screen here, except for the IP address. The IP address needs to match the IP address that's on your phone. As you can see here, they're showing the examples. And that will give you the interface between the Bluebeam connection from the Yaw to your phone to the computer, so it all works together. So now that you have your game engine installed, go ahead and open it up, and it's going to look like this. You can set up a custom picture if you want, and then you also want to open up the game manager here, and you can see it's set up for American Truck Simulator, and it says it's on and that they're connected. The little green square here and here means that they're communicating to each other. If you go to the game engine and go to access assignments, this is where you set your settings. Here you can see I have yaw set to 10, pitch to 50, and roll to 50, which I still need to tweak those a little bit because they're still not quite right. Okay, the next setting is your interface setting, and this is where you connect your IP address. And then you can actually hit output testing here. And when you turn on everything, this will give you show you what's actually working with your different roll, pitch, and yaw. Okay, and you have to turn it on. So right now they're both on. Once the game is loaded, this green area will turn blue and it'll say game running. So I started the game and you can see it changed to game running and changed to the color blue. You don't have to do this to play the game, but you can turn this on and you can see that the settings have changed a little bit, and those sliders will react to what the controllers do. So one of the things you'll notice, I have a wired steering wheel and joystick attached to this, which is not ideal by any stretch because the wires will get tangled. I did take the foot pedals off because not only were they too big to fit, the wires were too limiting. I did configure the truck simulator to use my shifting pads, and this is just for testing, as my throttle and brake, and I put it in automatic mode, so I won't be using the joystick for this, but it does work. It's just that it's too restricted with all the wires. The other thing I did, I purchased, as you can see here, a mount, an arm that will support your headset, so it's over the middle of the yaw, so if it spins, your headset wire won't get tangled up on you or any of the equipment. With the Quest and some of the other headsets are coming out now that are wireless, you can try those. But I'm hoping in the future a Oculus will come out with a wireless headset. I know there are other companies that make wireless adapters, but I believe they're only available for the Valve HTC right now. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out. Before I start this, I just also want to point out that the American Truck Simulator by the company does not come in VR. You can set it up in Steam to work with VR. You can Google that and check how to do it. Basically, you just set it up to boot with a Oculus in the settings, and that will put it into a VR mode. It doesn't have native VR support yet. What I'm going to do now is just do a quick demo of what it can do. I'll show you that it is working. Unfortunately, because of the way that Truck Simulator doesn't have native VR, it also doesn't display what's happening on the screen, so I can't do a simultaneous picture of video with both me driving and what I'm seeing, so you just get an idea by the motion itself. Okay, so I got the steering wheel in position. I got my Yaw app running. What I want to do is calibrate it. So I get it in what I would think is a horizontal position and just hit the C button for half a second, and it adjusts to where I'm telling it is a resting position. So from there, get my headset. Fix this real quick. I'm going to adjust it so it comes closer. And I use the Oculus Touch to set the view. Otherwise, I might be somewhere in the truck somewhere. So this was to put me in the driver's seat. Okay, so I just set the viewing angle, so I'm looking at the windshield. And I have this is set up to start the truck. And so I have the other controls here. And this is really bad with all the wires, but I'll just give you an example of how it works. So once you're ready to go, you have your computer saying it's running, then you tell the app to start. And then you can feel it jerk into position. So I'm going to put my phone somewhere where I can get to it. If I need to emergency stop, I can park it with the phone where it goes back to a resting position so I can get in and out. Or I can shut off the switch here on the steering wheel support to cut off the motion. Okay. Let's just give you an idea of how it works. I have the sound turned off. The steering wheel is set up but very badly. So I will start moving. Maybe hit the brakes, accelerate. When I turn, you see this moving motion. Brakes. Then I push and hold the stop button on here, and it'll bring the yaw to a park position where I can comfortably get in and out. So I'll adjust the steering wheel. It goes onto this hanger here, and it folds out of the way, and I can get in and out. That was just a quick introduction to the Yaw VR and how to set it up and kind of get it so it's working. I got a lot of tweaking to do on it. I got more equipment to purchase in the future. You know, I don't need to, there's not a lot of options for a wireless steering wheel, so I may look at just using other types of controls to do that, or the Oculus Touch controls by themselves, and just use everything virtual within the games themselves. But hopefully that was helpful, give you an idea of what this is. Check out the Yaw VR site. They have a lot of videos on that, of demonstrations, roller coasters, airplanes, racing, all kinds of stuff this can do. So I'm looking forward to getting it dialed in a lot better. Right now, I'm trying to just not get thrown out of the chair or get motion sick. So don't know if it's going to help with that. I'm hoping it is. But I'm looking forward to it. If you have any questions, go ahead and post them. I'll go ahead and put a list of the equipment that I got and where I purchased it below. I hope this helps some of you. I know it doesn't pertain to a lot of you, but thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.